This is Breanna Rutter from howtoblackhair.com, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do the cornrow tree braids hairstyle. When doing this look, it's very important that you prep your small pieces of braiding hair in preparation for your cornrow tree braid. The reason why is because it's such a hassle to stop every second just to pull off a small amount of hair from your bundle, especially if you're doing this on your own. So make sure that you prepare small pieces of braiding hair to assist you to keep flowing as you braid. Now, make sure you part a thin section of hair in the back because you're going to put two cornrow tree braids back there. And these two cornrow tree braids will be braided to meet one another. The reason why is because this allows you to wear your hair in a ponytail while concealing your braids. So in a second, you're going to see that a little bit later in this tutorial how that looks. For now, you're going to make sure to part a thin section of hair that will serve as your cornrow tree braid on the side of your head. Now, this style incorporates the element of already knowing how to do a cornrow braid with weave. So if you do not know how to do that, I highly suggest that you check out the cornrow braiding DVD on howtoblackhair.com. After positioning the braiding hair in your hands, you're going to pinch off such a small amount of your real hair at the very start of your braid. You want your braids to be as close to your hairline as possible because this gives the best look with tree braids. If you grab too large of a section, the braids actually start further back from your hairline, which doesn't look as good. So you're just going to braid a couple of times to release your right hand. You're going to loop the hair around your fingers, and then you're going to make sure it slides right underneath your index finger. Once you add the hair, grab a small section of hair you added and put it over your head because you have to leave out small amounts of hair along the way to create the cornrow tree braid effect. So braid a couple more times, grab another section of hair, and when you add it to your braid, you're going to make sure to loop it underneath your index finger there. Grab that piece that's near your face as you see here and put it over your head. Now, when you're leaving out pieces of hair along the way, specifically for this perimeter braid that's on the side, all of the individual pieces of leave out hair have to flow downward. The reason why is because if you want to wear your hair up into a ponytail, this enables you to do that while covering up your cornrow braids. So this braid here that's right at nearest of your ear will have hairs that flow downward, as well as your left side and also as well as the back. So all of the hairs, as you see here with these three pieces, flow downward. So when you pull it up, it conceals your braids. So now that the braid is finished, you see exactly what I've just explained. And also once you leave the scalp, you have to continue to leave hairs out of the braid along the way, only flowing out of one side. And as the back was mentioned previously, you got to make sure that all the hairs flow downward as well, so that when you grab all of the hair and you pull it up into a ponytail, it will conceal your braids. So now at this point, I'm going to show you how you're going to do the rest of your cornrow tree braids, because now that we left the sides and the back, all of the rest of your cornrow tree braids have to have leave out alternating on both sides. So you're going to braid a couple of times to release your right hand. You're going to loop the hair underneath, and then the piece that naturally falls in front of your face, you're going to make sure to leave that out. Now this time you're going to leave out your left hand so you can add hair onto the other side of the cornrow braid, and the hair that naturally leans toward your face or falls toward the direction of your face, you're going to leave that piece out as well. Every time you're doing a cornrow braid, literally braid just a couple of times. Add hair on one side, leave out a piece of it, braid a couple more times. Add hair on the other side, leave out a piece of it, braid a couple more times. You're going to keep doing this back and forth until you notice that the hair is becoming a little bit more thick. Being that you're adding hair to it constantly is going to cause the braid to become bigger and bigger. So to make sure to keep the braid even in size, as you see here, pinch off a small amount of your weave extension as your leave out instead of adding more hair. So you're going to make sure that you're watching this as you go to leave out the appropriate amount of hair so the braid doesn't get too thick near the back. Now, as you can see, once you're leaving the scalp, the same process is the same. You're going to make sure to leave out a little bit of hair on one leg of the braid that's on the outer edge. Put it up over your head and use the clip to keep the hairs out of the way from falling down if necessary. You're going to do the same thing on the other side where you grab a small section, put it over your head so it doesn't fall back into your actual braid. And remember, use the clip to help you. So just keep doing this process over and over and over again until you've braided well past your real hair. Now once you braid it down far enough, you're going to grab a small section of hair and you're going to wrap it around your braid to create a knot. Now once you do that, divide the hair in half. Take one half, wrap it around again and create a knot. And then you're going to do this a third time. Grab an even smaller piece and you're going to wrap it around to create a knot. This is to ensure that it doesn't unravel because you created little knots at a time that gradually got thinner. So now this is such a cool technique you can do with your braiding hair to give you a sleek, straight look. Even using heat on the hair is applicable if you do it at a low temperature. So in order to make your Kanekalon braiding hair or whatever hair you choose more sleek, use an actual blow dry brush and a blow dry and put the heat setting on low to create this beautiful look. This is a style you can do where it's actually called milk twist, or actually more popularly called milk braids. But you actually just twist two sections of hair from your ponytail and you wrap it around your head as if you're making a crown, and then you pin it down with bobby pins. Now this style is called the braided bun. You put your hair into a ponytail and you braid the hair that's left and you wrap it around your head like a bun and pin it in place with bobby pins. Now with this style, I like to create a little halo effect with the braids. So you take a little bit of hair that's actually inside of your style and you braid a braid on both sides and then you cross them over one another and pin in place. Taking down your tree braids is easy, but it requires you to be extremely careful, being that the braid gets gradually thinner because you've left out small amounts of hair as you were actually creating your braid. Now because you added small amounts of hair, to avoid tangling, you have to smooth the hair out of the actual extensions so that way they don't bunch up near your root, which causes a lot of tangling and matting. So every time you're unraveling the braid, smooth out the added extension hair from your real hair to avoid the buildup at your roots. Thanks for watching the cornrow tree braiding tutorial. For updates on hairstyling tutorials, follow me on Instagram at Breanna Rutter.